Done?
Meh.
Was that a sheep noise? What was that?
Oh, yeah. That was a Barcelona coach's cow.
Oh, was it?
I don't know what it was.
Banana skin avoided, I suppose. Is that...
Yeah, just had to get the result. Did. Not convincing. Didn't think it would be. But avoids an embarrassment. So soldiers on. Needs a goalkeeper. Don't know what the state of Lloris is at the moment. How long term that's going to be. But he makes too many mistakes. Another one tonight, down to his right hand side. That's a worry. But yeah, I mean, if he can deliver an FA Cup, he'll rub that in the face of a few people. So I mean, that's what he'll be aiming for.
Disappointing going forward. I mean, we've just shown the goals, and the goals are coming from mistakes by the opposition. You know, they're not playing, or they're not outplaying a championship side, a team in a league below them. They're actually scratching and scrapping a little bit. Yes, they had plenty of possession, but I mean, where is this Spurs team that was so exciting for a spell, particularly last season? I mean, it just seems to have disappeared. And they don't look like they're getting it back anytime soon under Mourinho.
Frank, I blame you for all of this, because I feel every time you're on and we ask you to watch a game, the game is terrible.
Yes, I must be very bad luck to you guys and some of the team that I see every time where I have to watch a football game. So I'm very disappointed. I really thought that Tottenham will do the job and will be more serene about what they have to do. But as Stevie said, you know, you have two mistakes from the goalkeeper and you score 2 goals. But otherwise, yes, you have some chances, but you don't dominate offensively, especially, but also defensively, your opponent. You struggle, you hesitate, you make mistakes. I've seen Sanchez too many mistakes at the back. It's not a team who feel against serene, knows his power, knows his potential. It's a team who wonder a lot about his potential.
Right, before we get too depressed, let's move on, shall we, and talk about the future of some Spurs players. We saw Eriksen starting today, of course, Jules, heavily linked to a move to Inter Milan. How likely is that to happen before the end of the transfer window?
I was told today that it was still 50-50, really. I mean, for Inter Milan, they need creativity right now because Barella, for example, is still injured, and they could do with someone like Eriksen right now, but they also know that in 6 months he's free, and he can come in 6 months' time for nothing. So they're still debating on whether to make an offer to Spurs now and discuss more terms with Spurs about maybe getting Eriksen now for between 15 and 20 million euros, which would still be, you know, for a player like Eriksen, hopefully that he would go back to his best. It was still quite a good deal. So I still think this one is well balanced in between now or at the end of the season.
Jules, so they're going to bring anyone in? Oh, sorry, Craig.
No, you're good.
No, you're going to say?
No, you're good.
You want to say?
No, I'm more interested in who they're going to bring in.
No. What are you going to say? Like,
he got booed before the game.
Oh, did he?
When the teams were announced. So clearly there's... I mean, from his... Do you know they had a discussion in England about if Inter Milan was a big enough club?
I saw that on an English channel.
I mean, seriously, the ignorance of some of these people is astounding. Are Inter Milan big enough for Christian Eriksen and bigger than Tottenham? I mean, do me a favour. Why would he not want to go there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why would he not? He can another string to their bow. Clearly disenchanted at Tottenham. Needs to freshen up and see something different. Is it a team? Okay, they're not in the Champions League, but they will be fighting tooth and nail all the way till the end of the season. You'd think with Juventus.
Yeah. And they'll be in the Champions League next season, by the way.
But are they a bigger club than Tottenham, they ask, in England? I mean, honestly, take the Premier League goggles off and do one.
Steve, you were saying the Spurs is a bigger club.
No. Why would Inter Milan, right? Now, we know Inter Milan's a big club.
Yeah.
So why are they dithering over 15 or 20 million? This could be the difference between them, you know, winning the league or not. So what are they waiting for?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Well, of course, we'll keep up to date. Meanwhile, are Spurs going to bring anyone in, Jules?
Yeah, I think Jetson Fernandes, the young and very talented Benfica midfielder and Portugal midfielder, is definitely on his way in. it's a loan first of all for 18 months, and then there's an obligation to buy. But again, is that the answer of the problems that Mourinho and the team are having at the moment in midfield? That he's a very young kid. He's hasn't actually played that much of top flight football. He's certainly very talented, but they clearly need a more experience, a player that could come in straight away and have an impact, someone who would make a difference straight in. Justin Fernandez is not going to do that. He will need time to adapt to a new country, a new league, a completely different style of football, completely different style of playing the team that he joins compared to Benfica, for example, which, again, I'm not really sure is that what Spurs need right now.
Meanwhile, Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United. Is this done before the end of the window?
I think this one could be done. There will be more talks between the two clubs. They've had starting talks, if you want, in the last couple of days. There's no agreement yet. He has an agreement with Manchester United, which was quite easy to find. He also has a release clause. But the two clubs are still talking. I think ideally Manchester United maybe would want that release clause a bit lower than the 70 million euros that it is right now. And Bruno Fernandes, who, by the way, has been linked to every single English club for the last 4 years or something like that, which is ridiculous, might finally be on his way. Again, is it what United need right now? I think they could do with the creativity, but if Paul Pogba comes back at some point from his injury and is in good form, can those two play together? I guess Fernandes can also play a bit wider, which could fit what Solskjaer wants to do, but it's also maybe a profile and a position that maybe United didn't really need to strengthen, but there's others that they should strengthen before.
Steve, you made the point. We talk about Bruno Fernandes every transfer window.
Yeah, it's amazing.
If he was so great and so important, why hasn't he been snapped up before? But obviously time will tell on that. Wolves are in action against Manchester United in the FA Cup. Third round replay at Old Trafford. 0-0, wasn't it, the first time they met at Molineux? Just terrible game. More of the same?
A draw, no football.
I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah. What were we expecting?
Well, I don't expect another drab confrontation, to be honest. I think Man United at home have got some sort of responsibility to go forward. And if they do that, Wolves will try and counter. So it should be a much better game.
Yep.
But at the same time, we're talking about United here. They're so inconsistent. 1 week they look world beaters, and then the next week they look relegation candidates. So it's hard to tell. I'm just hoping we're going to get an open attacking game of football.
I'd imagine both will put strong teams out. Wolves are in the United in the Europa League, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Yeah. Both in the Europa League. But United likely to go out the Carabao Cup. So I think the FA Cup is something that was, I think, paramount to Solskjaer as a player in his time at that era at Man United, and I think they'll take this quite seriously. He can ill afford another negative result, particularly at home. So,
who have you got? Who have you got going through in this one?
Wolves.
Really?
I'll go United because they're at home. It's a tough one to pick.
Well, let's hope. Julian, there were unconfirmed reports yesterday that you were the main reason that Valverde got sacked.
We got it done. We got it done. We had to ESPN. We're leading the agenda in soccer. Listen, I've got nothing against Valverde. He's a very nice man. I do think that the way Barcelona did their business was really unfair to him because he was very professional until the end. I just never thought he was the right man for the job anyway. He came in at a difficult time for the club 2.5 years ago, and he did a decent job. But clearly in the last 18 months, you could see that he was just not good enough. And especially this season, the football was poor. The results were okay because of the talent of Messi and Suarez, but they were considered a lot of goals. Some games, they could hardly put 3 passes together. This is not the Barcelona team that we used to know before, where there was still enough talent in that squad to play like the old Barcelona team. And I just don't think he was never the right man for the job because he just doesn't have that DNA in him. And I think he destroyed Frankie de Jong's game, for example, which I've talked about already on the show. I think there was a lot of issues with Valverde, his coaching during matches, his team selection before matches. A lot of things were wrong, and I think it was the right call eventually to sack him. I think they should have sacked him last summer. They didn't. I think this time it was the right time.
Frank, was this the right call in your opinion?
It could be. I'm always sad when I hear that a coach is sacked, especially when the coach is the leader of the Liga, and you wonder, if it's the right time, if he deserves it. But the way that Barcelona plays, and I agree with Julian, it was pretty poor since the beginning of the season. And you wonder, when they're gonna be about to explode and see the big mess. So I think they wanted to avoid that and make sure that Barcelona can keep on going and play better. It's why they took somebody who was very a Cruyff blood, in his veins, and go back to what Barcelona does the best, is playing the best football we can see and have some excellency. So I think it was maybe not the right time, because it should have done last summer, but it has to be done, and it's been done.
Turning the page now on Valverde, of course, Setien has come in pretty much from the outside of La Liga, an unknown, someone who, of course, took Real Betis to 6th in La Liga. What I think is quite interesting when you take a look at the fact that obviously he hasn't achieved much is the excitement around Spain and those who follow the game, like, yes, this is perfect. He deserves this chance with Barcelona to take these players and see if he can actually bring back the Barca way. But I imagine that's a lot easier said than done, isn't it?
Listen, things on paper aren't always what happens in reality. And so, until Barcelona have played, 3-4 games?
Yeah.
We're not going to know whether he's had an effect or not. Now, you'd have to think that it's going to be better than what Valverde's 11 was dishing out, because it wasn't exciting. It didn't seem that attacking, although they were scoring goals. It just didn't seem like a Barcelona. So, hey, he's going to have to make a change very quickly. Otherwise, the naysayers are going to jump all over this and say, why are you giving this guy the job?
From a player's perspective, does it make a difference, Craig, that he hasn't had experience, hasn't won trophies, hasn't dealt with big players before?
I don't think so. But, I mean, it would be pretty disrespectful for any professional footballer to just judge somebody before they've even, got their feet in the door. When problems arise, if they arise, they'll quickly figure out how he deals with it, if he can deal with it, and what his training's like, and how he talks to players. Then they'll figure out if he's the real deal or not. What makes me laugh is the excitement in Spain about this. Is nobody was talking about this guy 48 hours ago, 1 week ago, 3 weeks ago. And if he walked into most people's front rooms in Spain, they wouldn't know who he is. And all of a sudden, he's exciting about being the Barcelona coach. I mean, do me a favour, he said. Oh, I was a fan of Messi before I got this job. Oh, spare me the details. Who wasn't? I will have Johan Cruyff when I was growing up. Oh, join the queue. I mean, all this nonsense, this claptrap that's been coming out. At the end of the day, I wish the guy all the best. He's come from nowhere to get one of the best jobs in the world. But spare me all the nonsense that's going around it about, could I give him a right arm to play with Johan Cruyff and all that? Wouldn't we all? Does that mean you're going to be the Barcelona manager? Oh, that's a way to get the job, eh? So good luck to him.
Well, it seems like it.
It's
worked for him.
Oh, this guy. Oh, yeah. He plays the Barcelona. Spare me the details.
It'll depend on what the makeup of the dressing room is.
Right.
Because you'll have the young guys who'll just hang on every word anyway. If you've got a couple of suspect characters, they'll be like, who's this guy? He's going to tell me what to do. I mean, I don't know if there are any of those guys in that dressing room, but I've been in dressing rooms where there have been who think they know better before anything's even happened. If the dressing room is strong and you think that Messi's leading it, then I think basically they'll give him a chance.
Right.
And then it's up to him then.
Frank, does it make a difference in a dressing room if the manager hasn't had that much experience?
Not really, because especially in Barcelona, you can see where, they choose coaches more about what they have as an idea of playing football more than a resume. The last 3 coaches who won the Champions League were 3 former players, Rijkaard, Guardiola and Luis Enrique. But after that, there were only coaches that we didn't know. Tata Martino, Valverde, and now Kike Setien. So it's not very important for the club. I think it's not very important for the player. On the other hand, when you have a big star like, let's say, Zidane in Real Madrid, your past will be helpful, but it can last maybe 2-3 months. If you don't have results, it's going to blow up very quickly. So as long as, and Stevie said, if within 3 games they win and they play better, it's going to be a one bet, but otherwise it's going to be another problem.
Jules, I imagine you're excited by this appointment.
I am very excited, yeah. I am very excited because I saw him when he was at Sevilla with Betis, and no one can argue that the football was not exciting, that he did some incredible things with that team, with those players, some of them average or good players, but nowhere near as good as what he's going to have now in his Barcelona squad. So you can think that if he can just implement some of his style of football, some of that philosophy from Betis and from all the clubs he had before as well, to be fair to him, to this Barca squad, like Stevie said, if the players are ready to give him a chance and ready to listen and to do on the pitch what he asked them to do, then I think they could be on something very good. Of course, Craig is right. You know, the whole, I love Cruyff. And
I know you've been writing about this on the website, about the fantastic four, Icardi, Di Maria, Mbappe and Neymar, and about, from the evidence from what we saw in that Monaco game, it isn't working.
You're right. This was really the first test. Thomas Tuchel had done it before. We saw a little bit against Real Madrid in the Champions League back in November. And then we saw it in France against Saint-Etienne, both in the league and in the League Cup, where in those 2 games he worked really well. They won 4-0 away and 6-1 at home. And in each of those games, the 4 of them, Neymar, Mbappe, Icardi and Di Maria, were just outstanding. The game against Monaco on Sunday was the first real test to see if Tuchel could do it in those top games. In the Champions League, for example, against Dortmund in a month's time. Was he actually viable for the team to play in a 4-4-2 formation or 4-2-4 even formation? And how much would Neymar and Di Maria have to defend? How much Icardi and Mbappe would have to trail back as well? And we saw against Monaco that it's not completely dead, but it's clearly not ready just yet. They were far too exposed defensively. It was far too open. I mean, Monaco could easily have scored 4 or 5 goals. They had 14 shots. They created so many chances. So either it's a work in progress or clearly it was an indication for Tuchel that it's just not working and it's too risky in those big games to play like that.
Well, of course, it's a month to go until they take on Dortmund in the first leg of the Champions League, Frank. Have you seen enough from it to suggest that it's a work in progress that will eventually work out?
No, it's not going to work, and I have to agree with Julien. And I think we saw something fantastic, is that PSG invented another tactic, which is the 2-4-4. Because when I saw the guys playing, you know, it's not really about the 4 fantastic, it's about the 6 others and what they do on the field, and especially Meunier and Bernat on the side, where they were going forward and exposed, you know, Marquinhos and Thiago Silva to many risks and problems to resolve. And when you decide to play with the 4 guys at front, if you want this to work, you have to hold for sure Meunier and Bernat as a right back and a left back. But do they know how to play like that? I don't think so. So it's why, and I'm pretty sure, and I can bet on it, that Tuchel is going to put back Marquinhos in midfield, and they're going to play 4-3-3. And who's going to be sacrificed? I think it's going to be between Icardi and Di Maria, and I'm ready to put a $1 on Di Maria being a substitute for the Champions League game. They're not going to take any risk like they did last Sunday, because Tuchel learned again that it's impossible to play like that, because the other players, not the Fantastic Four, even if they should defend a bit more, should stay back and leave the 4 guys working offensively.
Is Frank Stoller safe, do you think, Jules?
Yeah, I think he's right. It's a debate that we've been having the last 3 weeks back home, and it's one that we will have again until the Dortmund game for sure. Would it work if you put 2 more defensive fullbacks? Let's say Diallo at left back, who's more of a centre back, and Kerrer at right back, who's more of a centre back as well. Would that work a bit better? Could you play Marquinhos in midfield with Verratti because Marquinhos is a proper holding. Well, if he wants to be, he's a proper holding midfielder. Against Monaco, they play with Verratti and Gay, and both of them like to go forward. They like to touch the ball a lot, and none of them is really disciplined to defend and protect the back four. So there might be another way for him to do with different players than the ones that he put against Monaco. I just think he's very, very risky and very dangerous to play like that against any big clubs in Europe.
Thank you very much, gents. We're on the road for the next 3 days. FC. Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. As always, thank you very much for your tweets. We've got Craig and Stevie here in the studio. Jules and Frank with us as well. The first question is for you, Jules. How likely is Mbappe to Real Madrid this summer? Hazard, Mbappe, Benzema, etc. would surely dominate Spain if that was to happen.
Yes, I mean, it pains me to say it, but there's a possibility, obviously. There's even a big possibility that it could happen this summer. PSG are trying to push really hard for Mbappe to sign a new deal and at least try to secure him for 1 more year. But there's a chance that he goes in the summer. That's his dream, to play for Real Madrid, especially with Zidane as a manager there. We know the history. We're not going to go back there, but since he was a very young kid, he went there and trained with the youth teams, etc., etc. So it will happen at some point, which I say on the show all the time. Will it happen this summer? I'm still hoping that it will stay for another year. Let's put it that way.
Should there be a rule change where a tackle that stops one-on-one situation, like we saw with Valverde at the weekend, would result in a penalty instead of a free kick outside of the box?
No.
No?
Nope.
Oh, I've seen some people
Yes.
suggesting that. Frank says
Yes.
yes.
Why?
Yes.
Because you don't know he's going to score.
Because
How many people have you seen going through one-on-one with a goalie and not
well,
score?
if he shoots a penalty, he's not sure to score too. But he's going to be facing the goalkeeper at least. So I think, and I was a defender, I think it should be a penalty.
How would you assess it, though, Frank?
What you mean?
If it's
which
one-on-one,
way?
then that's it.
Oh no, of course, if it's not a penalty, I will smash him like Valverde did, and that's because that's being professional. I know it's not nice. I know some people will say, "Oh my God, how can you say that?" No, that's football. That's a game. You're allowed to make a foul. You're going to be punished for, but you're allowed to make a foul. So I will have done the same. Now I think if the rule can be changed and be a penalty, I will agree with that.
Wow.
Just make the penalty box a full half. Make the 6-yard box the penalty box.
Big old arm.
Listen, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Right.
It's relevant today, but there are way more other things.
When it comes to rule changes.
Correct.
To Jules, which French food does Ernesto Valverde remind you of? Oh, kick a man when he's down.
Snails.
I don't know, man. This one caught me by surprise. What French food does it remind me of? Like, as in French food that I don't like?
Yeah. Should we ask Stevie about snails first? I'm intrigued to know if he's ever had them.
So other than frog's legs, what's French food?
Right.
Right. So frog's legs is not French food, right? We agree on that.
Steady.
We agree on that, right? It's like garlic bread. Garlic bread is nothing to do with France.
It's Scotland, isn't it? Scotland.
But you do eat frog's legs, though, Jules.
Yeah, like everyone. Like, I think there's more English. I've seen it more on English menus in restaurant here than in France.
No.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely.
What?
I mean, I don't know when Frank last eat frog legs, but I certainly can't remember the last time I had them.
I think it was 20 years ago in England, in London,
Yeah.
in close to Knightsbridge.
Thank you, my friend.
It was a
Thank
restaurant.
Remember that advert?
Thank you.
The lady loves milk tray.
Yeah, they're both dressed like the hero in that advert. Have you ever had snails, Stevie?
Don't like them.
Don't like them.
To be honest, I can eat most things, but I wouldn't.
No, I like snails. Are nice.
Yeah, I would eat
Place in town that doesn't.
I would
nice.
eat them, but I wouldn't.
Garlic, lots of garlic. What's worse, United's board or Barcelona's board? What would you say, Jules?
No contest, isn't it?
I would say it's a close call. It's a really close call. I would still think that United and Ed Woodward's are worse than anything else right now in the top clubs. So I will crown them the winner, but literally just above Barcelona.
Not for Jules. Jules, what's the dress code for Neymar's birthday next month? Sorry, Ney's birthday next month. Are you going again?
For Ney's birthday. Didn't you receive an invitation?
No, well, Jules, we know you and him are BFFs.
Yeah, so I received the invitation, and I can't say too much about it right now, but I will, little by little, I'll reveal a few details there and there. But he's going to be amazing. It's going to be, Ney is really keen this year. It's going to be amazing.
Where's the party going to be?
In Paris. He loves Paris, no? He loves Paris.
Yeah, he loves Paris, yeah. Any chance he can get out of there, he goes. Frank, are you going to his birthday?
No, I denied it. I've
Yeah.
got something else to do.
Of
You
course
know,
you got-
I'm be on stage.
Get a haircut.
I'm very sorry. Nay, I'm very sorry. Can't make it.
What do you think about Japhet Tanganga? I know this is only the second game we've seen him so far, but Spurs fans have been raving about him since the pre-season, and he's looked like our best left and right back even after 2 games.
What Spurs fans?
Spurs fans.
I've not seen anybody raving about him since pre-season.
I don't know, but do you,
It's a bit like- it's a bit like-
do you chat to many Spurs fans?
No, hopefully not. It's a bit like the new Barcelona manager.
Yep.
I didn't see anybody raving about him till less than 24 hours ago.
Jules, does he excite you?
I interviewed him after the Liverpool game, and he spoke well, and he looked like he has feet on the ground. He looked like he was a clever kid, and on what he showed against Sadio Mane and in that game against Liverpool, and tonight was a different story against Middlesbrough. But certainly on Saturday, he looked like a decent player with quite good potential. And you know, if Mourinho can make him grow, which I'm not sure about, but he looks like a very talented player. Yeah,
He's very raw. He got away with a lot of fouls against Liverpool.
Right.
He dived in a lot on Mane as well. So he is very, very raw.
Final question. Oh my goodness. Who knows where this is going to take us? What parenting advice can the guys give? Where should we start?
What?
Huh? Just in general, if for a new parent, what would you say?
Good luck.
Good luck. Frank?
Take care of yourself. Protect yourself.
I hate all time.
What about the Wayne?
Protect yourself as a parent.
What? Parenting advice can you give guys to what? To your kids?
No, not to your
I got
kids.
it like that.
What advice would you give to parents?
Oh, to parents.
Yes.
What can I? Well, no. Good luck. The guy said already. Good luck. I would say, don't do it.
Jules?
yeah, they were my 2 advice as well. Don't do it, and why, and good luck. So I'm going to say a bit more positive. Enjoy it. It goes really quickly. It's not always easy, but it goes really quickly. So make the most of it.
And Stevie?
Not a clue.
Right.
Not a clue. You need to give me a situation.
Just like when your son had his child, did you put your arm over his shoulder and say, whisper a bit of parenting advice to him? No.
Just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it. There you go. That's nice. Yeah. Perfect. There we are.
Enjoy the expense.
Enjoy the expense, the headache.
And the grief.
Yep. The arguments.
Sleepless nights.
Yep. Right. ESPN FC then is back tomorrow. Remember, the boys are in a